Alright guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Mr. Kweku Official, and on my university we learn about various ways we can make money online, remote jobs, and many other opportunities. And I've decided to include some bit of helpful travel information I believe you can use if you are seeking new opportunities to relocate somewhere and start life. So the US visa lottery is out. Today is the 4th of October, and now millions of people around the world will be applying for this lottery visa. But I'm doing this video to show you certain things you should take note of. This is solely based on my research. I'm not an immigration consultant, I'm not an agent. I can't help you get the US visa lottery because I don't have any power by it. But what I'm going to share with you are proven, information that you need to stand a chance of winning the lottery. Okay, so let's get into the general overview. This is actually based on my research and things I believe are true as of the moment of recording this video. So the general overview. So the first thing you have to note is that the US visa lottery is not gambling or a lotto. And I'm doing this for people who are religious or feel it has a lottery name. It's not a good thing. No, please. It just has that name, lottery, but it doesn't necessarily make it a lottery. And I want to explain. For example, we call catfish. It doesn't mean catfish has cat's genes in it or has feline like a lion, tiger kind of genes in it. Okay. For example, there's a brand name called Victoria's Secret. But you and I know that Victoria's Secret doesn't mean that there's any secret anywhere. It's just a brand name. Let's look at the fuel station called Shell. Shell is a fuel station. It doesn't mean that it is a Shell. Do you understand? So it's just a name given to it due to the randomness with which they pick applicants. All right. So you do not stake a bet or you do not pay for it. It's free. And it is one of the many ways you can travel or relocate to the US. So if you're looking at ways you can travel or relocate to the US, you can, apply for a visitor's visa or a tour visa. You can apply for school and go to school. You can apply to attend a conference and then you are able to go to the country and attend that conference. You can apply for a job that will give you a work permit to go to the US. You can get married to a US citizen and then they file for you to get a spousal visa. Various ways. You can give birth there, get a dependent visa. So one of the many ways of traveling to the US legitimately is what? The US visa lottery. Okay, so it is not gambling or lotto. Anybody who applies for a visa is doing a similar thing. But the reason why I like this one is that it gives everybody an equal opportunity. All right, so you don't need any specific qualifications, but I'll mention certain things you need to stand a chance of winning. So the DV lottery is an immigration route that has been instituted by the US State Department to get a diversity of cultures into America. So it's called DV lottery. Okay, it's a diversity program. Now, the idea of that is that they want people from different countries and backgrounds to create some sort of balance in the US. All right. You know, the US was built by immigrants. The Europeans came, the blacks came, and other cultures came, Hispanics and the rest came and built the country. So the US has that philosophy that it's a country of immigrants. All right. So they have created a system where people from diverse cultures, and I'll take you to the website to read for yourself so that you can have first-hand information and you understand this visa route better. And it's also similar to the Canadian express entry system. So Canada don't call theirs a lottery, they call it an express entry. And let me state emphatically, aside US, which has the lottery, no other country I think or I've seen has a lottery system. Okay, the closest is the Canadian express entry, where you would get your permanent residency, okay, based on points. So with the Canadian express entry, you go, you create your account, and then you put in your details and other qualifications that you have, and then it gives you more points. So if you're married, you get some points. If you have a master's degree or a degree, you get some points. If you have some level of work experience, you get some points. And then when they are doing the thing like, let me say, a raffle, they pick those who pass the cutoff points. And this is where you have to write the IELTS to get some more points. So if, let's say, this month they are trying to get some new immigrants into their system in Canada, they would say, okay, those who have 500 points and above, for this maybe province in Canada, we are going to pick them. Okay, and those who have this express entry accounts, they can use that to apply for certain opportunities in certain provinces in Canada. And that's not what I'm going to deal with in this video. I'm just saying that if you see any link anywhere where they say German lottery or UK lottery, it's likely to be a scam. all right? And I'll give you the actual link for the US lottery. Please, as I mentioned, don't pay anyone, don't give anybody your details. And so far, for those of you in Ghana, I know only one legitimate company that I've heard of that can assist you. You only pay for your passport photo and they'll assist you freely to apply. I think they are called SharpNet at Osu. Mind you, they've not paid me. I don't even know them. But I was talking to a friend recently who was like, that's how her sister got her lottery. She won the lottery. And that company helped her. They applied for her, but she only had to pay for the passport photo. All right. So you can look for them. I think SharpNet Osu. This is not a paid advert. I just thought I should mention it for those of you who maybe are looking for someone to assist you. I think they are a better offer than those agents that charge you thousands of dollars to give you something that is so free. Okay, next is that there's no cost to apply for the DV visa immigration program. It is free, it is simple, but it comes with some strict rules, and I'll show you the rules so that you don't make those mistakes, all right? Because when you make those mistakes, even if you win, unfortunately, they'll bounce you at the last stage. And the sad part is that such people who are bounced end up denying those who could have legitimately won and eventually gotten their visas to go abroad. Okay. Next one is no countries get more and no country gets less. Okay. So somebody may say, doesn't mean that, let's say, if I'm in this country and there's a higher population, the lottery is going to pick more people from my country. No. I think every country gets about 7% of the 55,000 people or so they're looking for. All right. And I also mentioned that some nationalities are not allowed to apply due to certain reasons, and we'll get to that shortly. Also, they distribute the winners equally, okay, to every country. So there's no country that has an upper hand. And as a result, if your country has had at least 50,000 people migrate to the US from your country in the last 5 years, your country is not allowed to apply this year. And I'll show you the list of countries that are not allowed to apply, okay? Unfortunately, Nigerians, if you're watching this video, you are not allowed because over the last 5 years, about 50,000 Nigerians have immigrated to the US. As I mentioned, the lottery program or the diversity DV lottery program is an immigration route to ensure there's diversity of cultures. So if already there are a number of Nigerians that have, in the last 5 years, entered the US, why should they again get more? It doesn't allow that balance that the US government is looking for. I hope you understand. Okay, so if you're a dual citizen and your second nation is eligible to apply, you can still apply. So let's say you're Nigerian, you have Nigerian, half Ghanaian, you can apply. Half Nigerian, half Beninois or Togolese, and Togo or Benin is allowed to apply. You can also apply. Okay, so this is for those who maybe your country is not allowed to apply, but you have a second passport, or maybe you have, let's say, a grandfather or mother, okay, from another country. Based on them, you can still apply. All right, good. Next one is agents use people's information to register. They never share the unique codes with those people who give them their information. Eventually, when those people win the lottery, these same agents will now charge very high fees to give them the code. And when these people cannot afford the fees, some of these agents intentionally go and get somebody who is ready, who will pay them, or their relative. Okay, they get them and then they go and change their details at the passport office and the birth and death registry or whatever, and then they give them that code that, hey, go and say I'm so and so because that person has won the lottery, and then use this to get the lottery and the visa, and then they go. And this can affect you in the future because the US government will see that in their system you give this email and this address and the rest, and now you want to apply for another visa. They'll say in their system it shows that you have already entered the US. So which information are you using again? Are you trying to use somebody else's information? That's how they'll see it. And that's how come some people, unfortunately, cannot travel to the US anymore because they have been banned. But it was not their fault, it was an agent's fault. All right. The next thing is that note that 10 million plus people applied for the US visa all over the world last year. And the chances that anybody is going to get is very low. Okay. But that should not stop you from attempting. Please, watching this video will not make your chances higher. And also, it will not make it lower. Having a master's degree or a PhD will not make your chances lower or higher. And I'll show you what people do to actually increase their chances, all right? It's not about your qualifications or those things. It's not about an agent who applied for you, all right? Also, the DV lottery program is non-discriminatory. So nobody gets an advantage over another person. As I mentioned, it's not about your qualifications. And they don't look for the most academically qualified. I mentioned already. The system is programmed to pick certain people to fulfill that diversity program. And that's how come you meet somebody, he's an illiterate, but he gets it. All right. So Appraising qualifications, all right, or things that qualify you to apply. First of all, you must be at least 18 years plus. So get your friends, your cousins, your daughters, everybody who is 18 years plus to apply. All right. That's what actually increases anybody's chances. I'll explain later. Then at least you must have a secondary school education or 12 years of continuous schooling. That's 6 years of primary, 3 years of JHS, 3 years of SHS, or maybe some schooling. All right. Now, let's say you don't have those schooling certificates and stuff. You must have at least 2 years work experience. Okay, 2 years work experience in a certain field, all right, but you must have proof or some certification to show that indeed you have working experience or you have been educated for that job. So I want to explain. You have an uncle, a cousin, or someone, he stopped school in primary or JHS, all right, and he has been a carpenter for the last 7 years. He must just show that he went through some carpentry school, and this is a certificate that shows that this is the carpentry school he has gone to. He has been working for the last 7 years, and that is enough. That's why I say that it is non-discriminatory. At least you must have working experience for 2 years plus with some certification, or you should have gone to school for 12 years continuously. That's all. Next one is that you do not need to put your passport information in the portal. Okay, so please, if you don't have a passport or your passport is missing or expiring, don't be bothered at all. You can still apply because they will not ask you for your passport information now. It's at the visa interview, which is next year or so. Do you understand? So don't be so bothered. Next one is that avoid clerical errors, especially with your name, email, and those stuff. So avoid those errors. I made a mistake by saying areas. So avoid those errors, okay? They can affect you later. So for example, your name is Efia Osei Mensah. But when you're typing, you wrote Efua Osei Mensah. When you get to the, what's the name, the interview, and they realize that your passport name or birth cert name is different from the name you provided on the link or on the portal, it can cause you to be disqualified. Okay, there's a celebrity. He's in Nigeria. His name is Uche Ugo or so. Uche Ugo. He's a celebrity. He went on Big Brother and all that. This guy is popular. Yet, he applied for the US visa lottery and won. But when he got to the interview, they bounced him because he switched his surname for the first name and the first name for the surname. So if his name is Uche Ogu or so, all right, he now made it Ugu Uche. And then at the interview, they were like, Ugu Uche won it. But your name on your passport shows Uche Ugu. Therefore, you have not won it. And that's how they disqualified him. And as I said, when they do that, it can even affect your chances of applying for a US visa because the embassy may see it as you've attempted to want to come and stay in the US. So if we give you a visitor's visa, what shows that you don't want to overstay your visit, you know? But again, it's not all the time, but it can, all right? Next one is that majority of people get disqualified due to bad passport photos, all right? So make sure that you get a professional photographer and take an American passport size photo. Get the soft copies as well. They can email it to you, and you would use the soft copies for the application. And I mentioned in my previous videos that always have soft copies of your passport pictures. Now, for those who wear spectacles, hijab, or any other thing they are concerned about, like their hairstyle, when we get to the guidelines, please, you can look for the guidelines regarding these things so that when you take your passport picture, it does not affect you. Next one is that have an affidavit that shows that you have changed your name either due to marriage or something else. I explained that in my previous video, so you can watch that video and you see all that, okay? So the affidavit, you can go to, if you're in Ghana, you can go to Accra, I think Tudu, all right? There's a place there where you go and swear the affidavit and you are good to go. All right, so frequently asked questions. What if I don't have an SHS certificate? As I mentioned, you must be able to prove you have 2 years work experience, and with an educational certificate or some sort of proof, a certificate, something to satisfy, maybe an ID or something that shows that you've had education in that job and you've worked for 2+ years, all right? How can I increase my chances of winning? Number one is try and do it yourself at all costs. If an agent or someone is doing it for you, be sure to have the confirmation code, okay? It is usually sent to you via email. So make sure that you use your email and you get that code and you store it somewhere, all right? Make sure that you meet the age and education requirements as an applicant, or let a relative add you as a dependent. And I'll explain this. When it comes to relatives adding you, I don't know if you remember, like for me, I've seen people who all of a sudden, they and their entire family went to the US. You know why? A cousin, okay, put somebody there as a dependent. An uncle put somebody there as a dependent, like that, okay? But when we get to the application, I'll show you how to actually do it. So don't be in a hurry to just start anything, okay? Next thing is that does your geographical location matter? No. It makes no difference wherever you are, so far as you are from an eligible country. So you can be in US, you can be in Canada, you can be in Dubai, you can be in Benin, Gambia, you can be in Mauritius, Haiti, any country. So far as you are in that country, but the country of your nationality, that is, if let's say I'm a Ghanaian in Haiti, okay, Ghana is allowed to apply, so I can still apply for it, but I just have to use my Haiti address and the rest when it comes to the requirements of email of mailing address. Do you understand? So your geographical location doesn't matter. You can be in Greenland, but maybe you are let's say you are from Ukraine, okay, and Ukraine people are allowed to apply. You can still apply anyways, okay. Just show that this is where I am currently. All right. Next one is that does your device or internet help? No, your device or internet will not help. You can use a phone, you can use a laptop to apply, but it must be good enough for you to go on the site, and then it should be good enough so that you can still apply and submit. If your keypad is fooling and it ends up putting in wrong information, it's your own wahala. Okay, so please ensure that you have a device that at least you can see the page, you can put in your information, the internet is good enough so that you don't end up spoiling your chances. Next one is that can I apply if I have a US green card? Oh, please, no. You already have a US green card, okay? You're already a legal stay permit, okay? So you already have a legal stay permit. So this is for only non-green card holders or non-US citizens or people who don't have any form of stay permit in the US, all right? Next one is, can I apply if I'm yet to marry? Yes, that is if the two of you will be married before the interview. So I added that, but this is a gamble because we know marriage, anything can happen. The wedding can be shifted, they can be covered, what's the name? The person can change their minds and all that. So if you don't marry eventually, but you put it in your information when you're applying that you are married, when you get before the interview, they'll ask you where's your marriage certificate. And if unfortunately you didn't get married, that's it. You've lost your chance, all right? Good. So helpful tips, I'm continuing from the frequently asked questions. Pay attention to details, okay? So read the information and ensure that you are putting the right information. First name should be first name. Date of birth should be date of birth, okay? Do not do multiple applications of yourself. Please, you'll be disqualified instantly. And that one can even affect any kind of future chances. I'm not sure, but I think it can because immigration is taken seriously abroad. They don't joke with some of these things, all right? Next thing is that do everything possible to include everyone in your nuclear family, okay, to apply. That way, everyone qualified has a higher chance of winning. I'll explain. So, I have a friend, her cousin did it, and by the time we realized, almost everybody was going abroad, thanks to the cousin. I also have another friend, her sister did it. And when her sister did it, she and her siblings ended up going abroad. And I'll show you how they do it on the application, right? So, let everybody apply. So far as they're 18 plus, they can apply. And they can even say that you guys are their dependents and all that, and eventually you can go and join them. Next thing is add and list your children, including anyone you plan to adopt. Okay? So in Ghana, adoption is for kids below 18. Just get adoption papers ready before the interview. Then, don't wear official dress codes like uniforms for your passport photo. So for example, you have a military uniform, nurse and all that. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that at all. Next one is don't use a passport photo that is more than 6 months old. Don't do that. Get a recent one. 3 months, 2 months is enough. If you have a child 18 or above, let them also apply. I've mentioned that already. Encourage your cousins and external relatives to apply as well. Avoid typos and placing wrong information at the right place and right information at the wrong place. I think I've explained this already. Then also to ensure all information you place on your application is true or can be backed by official documents when required. Next thing is that don't wait the last week of the application and also in effect the first, let me say, day or two. Okay, I'll explain why. It is possible that the system can get jammed due to internet traffic, or you may be needing some information that can take time to get. So for example, you are yet to get your passport photos, you are yet to maybe get some information or some documents, all right? And you realize that what's the name? This is the last week, but it will take you like, let's say 1 week to get that document or something or that information. It can cost you. So please, I often advise that maybe 2 days after the first day you can start, okay? And make sure that maybe 5 days to the end you have applied for it. It doesn't take so long. Next one is ensure nobody applies for you if you want to apply yourself. as I said, multiple applications of yourself gets you disqualified. Next thing is that print your confirmation number or keep it somewhere safe, or star it into brackets, favorite it in your email. So when they send you the confirmation, you can, star it somewhere that this is a favorite or this is an important email. Do you understand? Or as soon as you see it on the site, you can just print it out, and I'll show you all that. The next one is everything you say must be backed by official documents. So please, if you watch my previous video on every or important documents every Ghanaian must have, I mentioned all these things: your birth cert, your Ghana card, your passport, anything. Okay, any official documents, your marriage certificate. If you are divorced, please, that one too. Next one is that make sure your place of birth matches what is on your birth certificate. So in other words, ensure that all the information that you are providing on the website matches what is on your official documents. I've mentioned this already. Next is that put in a valid email which you can access. And I wrote that the confirmation code would be sent there. All right. If you do not remember your password, or you cannot remember your email, you may never know if you win or not. Okay, so sorry for the typo there, but all I'm saying is that make sure that the email you are putting there is valid and it's one that you can easily access. Somebody has created an email, has forgotten the password, and they just send it, and maybe when they try to recover the email password, maybe there's a number that they also used in creating that email, and that number they no more use it, so they'll send an SMS to that number, and now they can't put in the code that has been sent from the email service provider. I mean, it's a whole lot of problems. So please, emails are free. You can create plenty, but make sure that the one that you are putting in is one that is you can easily remember the password and you can easily access it. Okay. Next one is that a 21 or less can still be dependent. Yes, I saw this information somewhere that when you are 21 or less, you can still be a dependent to somebody. All right. Good. So let's go to the official website to see the instructions. This is not the application one, this is the instructions. Okay, and to get that one, you go to travel.state.gov to find out all the instructions regarding the DV lottery program. So I want to do that briefly, then I'll end this video. Okay, so let's go there. So let's say DV lottery. All right, DV lottery. Good. And then let's see. So I want this one, the travel.state.gov. That's where the instructions are. Okay, it's even here. Sorry. Oh, let me see. Okay, let me go back. Yeah, so the instructions are here. Let's click on it. Please don't take forever. All right. So I'm just trying to show you all that I've been saying so far from the official website, okay? And I want you to also go and watch it yourself or read it yourself, all right? Take your time. Look, it's about a whole 1 month, all right? Don't be in a rush. Just ensure that you are doing the right things. And in the next video, I'll show you how to actually apply for the US visa lottery, okay? And trust me, I believe some of you are going to get it, some will not get it. It's normal. In fact, BBC has done a whole video showing that literally nobody gets the lottery. And when I say literally nobody, I can say usually it's like 1% out of the many who are applying that get it. Because imagine they just want 55,000 people to come to the US, and in Ghana, about 1 million people are applying. I mean, all right. So let me look for the instructions. Good. So there's an instruction here. Okay. So DV 2025 program instructions. Let's click on it and read it for ourselves. Awesome. So they are saying this: the Department of State annually administers the statutory created Diversity Immigrant Visa Program. I told you, it's a diversity immigrant visa program. They're trying to get diverse cultures. I've mentioned it already. Okay, so it's not a lottery, as people put it, like as if you are taking lotto. It's free. They just want different immigrants. Okay, this is section 203 C of the Immigration and Nationality Act provides for a class of immigrants known as diversity immigrants. Okay, still confirming what I said earlier, from countries with historically low rates of immigration to the USA. All right, that's the United States. For fiscal year 2025, up to 55,000 diversity visas will be available. There is no cost to register for the DV program. As I said, don't pay anybody. It's free. But selectees who are scheduled for an interview will pay for a visa application fee prior to making their formal visa application where a consular officer will determine whether they qualify for the visa. So if you pay for anything, it is after you have won, you pay for your visa, but you don't pay to apply. You understand? Applicants who are selected in the program must meet simple but strict eligibility requirements to qualify for what? The DV. I mentioned that even though it's simple, there are strict rules. If you don't meet those rules, it can hurt you. Okay. The Department of State determines selectees through a randomized computer drawing. That's where the lottery name comes from. Okay, so let me just read this part. Let me go to this part. So for DV 2025, natives of the following countries and areas are not eligible to apply because more than what? 50,000 natives of these countries immigrated to the USA in the last 5 years, in the previous 5 years. I told you that once about 50,000 people leave your country within a certain period of time, in their mind, the diversity from your culture has been taken already. So why should they give you the chance again to apply? That means there's an imbalance in what other countries or other natives or nationalities. So the list is here: Bangladesh, Brazil, Canada, the People's Republic of China, including mainland and Hong Kong, Colombia, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Haiti. Okay, so as I said, if you're Ghanaian in Haiti, you can still apply. You understand? But if you're Haitian, living anywhere in the world, you can't apply. Honduras, India, Jamaica, Mexico, Nigeria. Okay, because Nigerians, Charlie Japa is their thing. Give Japa a lot to the America. So Pakistan, Philippines, South Korea, Venezuela, and Vietnam. So they say natives of Macau, SAR, and Taiwan are eligible. Okay, because I think those countries are close to some of these countries mentioned here. So with the exception of the United Kingdom and its dependent territories, which are now eligible, there are no changes in eligibility for the previous fiscal year. That means most of the countries are seeing here, last year they're not eligible. That's really painful. Let's hope that next year they'll be eligible. So now let's look at the countries that are eligible. So it's not on this page, but let me click on it. Good. So it's here. So that's on page 17. So Algeria, Angola, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Cabo Verde, that's Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros, Congo, DRC, Ivory Coast, Djibouti, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Eswatini, Ethiopia, Gabon, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Kenya, Lesotho, Liberia, Libya, Madagascar, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, Mauritius, Morocco, Mozambique, Namibia, Niger, Rwanda, Sao Tome and Principe, Senegal, Seychelles, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Africa, South Sudan, Tanzania, Togo, Tunisia, Uganda, Zambia, Zimbabwe. In Africa, natives of Nigeria are not eligible for this year's diversity visa program, but trust Nigerians, they'll find a way. So these are other countries. I don't know if I'll have Asian viewers. Let me see if outside Asia, Europe too. So please, you can go through the list. Okay, it's on page 17 and page 18 of the DV instructions. Okay, now please, because I don't want this video to be too long, you can go and read this in your free time. Take time off your busy schedule and read it. Besides, most of what I shared in my presentation is what you are going to find here. But again, I'm not God. I don't know it all. So maybe there can be some important information I may have missed. All right, so that's it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to show you step by step how to apply for the DV lottery program. So if you found this video very helpful, kindly like it and subscribe, leave a comment and share. God bless you all.